Welcome to my show, simply entitled Women Influencers. I am Veronica, CCIM, founder and CEO of the Capstack Group of companies, providing commercial real estate brokerage, development, and property management services in the greater Orlando area. This week, we have the 9th installment of the compiled questions that my guests have asked me in the past. Here are clips from the episodes of Tiffany Curry, Allison Weis, and Monica Cataluña Shand, CCIM. Please don't forget to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe below. I welcome your comments and please share with someone who can benefit from this podcast.
But my question for you and for the audience is, being a woman in commercial real estate in Florida and being a woman of color, oftentimes when we go into commercial real estate, it's male driven and they all look the same. How are you able to overcome those challenges, come into that market, and how are you able to continue to grow at the level that you are in that space?
So thank you for the question. I think it's a very, very important question. As a matter of fact, I've been asked that quite a bit. It is common for a lot of industries to be male dominated and white male dominated. I'll just say that. I mean, think about the construction business, think about commercial real estate and technology, engineering. It's just male driven. And I think that from the very beginning, just like you, I believed in pursuing excellence. And through that, you want to be very well educated in what you want to specialize in and also network. I think that if you show up and people see you all the time showing up, that's the first step. And the acceptance of the community will follow. And sometimes, as I've said before in past episodes, sometimes some of these barriers are imagined. I think that we need to take away the imagination of these barriers whenever we're entering a space where we feel that we might stand out because we are different. But the truth is, most of the communities, they welcome you. Sure. There will be, I don't want to diminish the fact that there are implicit biases out there, but in a general sense, I think most Americans are very welcoming. They're very forgiving, and a lot of them want to help. So I usually talk to my children about the power of asking. And so I'm always asking for help. I'm always asking to be mentored. And let me tell you, like you said, some doors may be closed to you, but many doors may be open to you if you only tried.
Awesome. Well, I'm very excited to ask you this question, Veronica, because you and I started our companies right around the same time. And certainly we have dealt with an interesting world and interesting new revelations, both in business and our personal lives. I'm wondering, how do you deal with uncertainty as an entrepreneur?
Really great question. And it's so funny. I just learned today after you said that we started our companies kind of the same time. And sure, we had effects from COVID and also the changes that are going on with the economy. It has been quite challenging. But the one thing that I always do in the morning is to always believe in a positive outcome. They say that everything happens between your ears, right? It's that this space right here is where it all happens. And if we keep dwelling on what our challenges are and not really focused on the solutions, which you've alluded to earlier on in the interview, right? When you don't picture the positive outcome and you don't look for the solution, you can easily be drowned in the challenges that are before you. And I think that happens not only in our businesses, but also in our personal lives.
Yes.
Right. It's always just making sure that you're hanging on to every positive thought that you can. And if you can't have it on your own, look to others. You have friends and family who support you. I think this is how everybody, not just women, not just older women like me or younger women like you, but everybody, even men, right? If you always just think about the positive outcome, I think you can overcome anything. And well, to add to that, lots of prayer for sure.
Yes.
Yes. We have to believe that he knows our name and that he sees us and that we can get through whatever challenge just goes before us. So
Yes. So my question to you, Veronica, is what has been your biggest regret in business?
So thank you for the question. And I don't really often think about regrets, but the one regret that I have is starting in commercial real estate a lot later in my career. So just to kind of, for people who have not really listened into this podcast, I talk a lot about my journey coming to the United States. And I immigrated to this country in 1989. And it's taken me a very, very long time, not having community, not having a real place to call my home in the beginning until I settled in Florida with my husband. It was very difficult to really find out or discover what my true calling was. But you're searching every day, right? And I think that's an immigrant story that a lot of people out there could probably connect with. But I started real estate really later in my life because, again, having immigrated from another country and having to find myself took a very, very long time. And when I started, just like you, Monica, you started as a residential agent. I did too, because that's all I knew. And that's all. Nobody really told me, well, you're better suited for commercial real estate. Well, then 10 years later into my career was when somebody opened the door to me. And if not for that, I would never have discovered commercial real estate. So in some sense, I think that we are a product of our surroundings and our environment and our journey. And I always tell my kids, sometimes you just have to, play with the cards that you're dealt with, right? Because that was just how my life kind of panned out. But if there was one regret in my life, as far as my career, I think I would have wanted to have started commercial real estate a lot earlier on in my career, which is only 20 years ago.
Before. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, likewise is the same here. And